In the particle nature of radiation, we discuss the photoelectric effect, experiment to study the photoelectric effect, experimental observations in photoelectric effect, Einstein photoelectric equation, explanation of photoelectric effect by the Einstein, Compton effect, and the last one is Compton shift equation. Let's start one by one. In metals, the electron in the outer shell called valence electrons of the atoms are loosely bound. They are quite free to move easily within the metal surface but cannot leave the metal surface. Such loosely bound electrons are called free electrons. An electron may leave the metal surface when a definite amount of energy has to be supplied. The energy required for the electron emission from the metal surface can be supplied to the free electron in the form of heat energy, light energy, etc. The phenomena of emission of electrons from the surface of a metal is called electron emission. There are different types of electron emission, but here we discuss only the photoelectric emission. In 1888, a scientist Hertz, while doing his experiment on electromagnetic waves, had observed a phenomena in which light radiation eject electrons from the surface of a metal. The same year, the German physicist Halbach discovered a similar effect and successfully demonstrated it. It was called photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect was discovered by Halbach, experimentally verified by Hertz, and successfully explained theoretically by the Einstein. Photoelectric emission, it is the phenomena of emission of electron from the surface of a metal when light radiation of suitable frequency fall on it. As you can see in this diagram, when the incident light hit with the metal surface, an electron ejected. That electron is called as photoelectron. A light radiation is having certain properties. The first property is frequency. The second property of the light radiation is the wavelength. And the third property is the radiation travel with a speed of light, that is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. If the frequency of light radiation is high, the energy of that radiation is also very high, and it is calculated by a formula E is equals to h nu. If the frequency of the light radiation is small, that is low, the energy of that radiation is also very low. The metals that exhibit photoelectric effect are said to be photosensitive or photoemissive surface. The electrons emitted by photoelectric effect are called photoelectrons. The motion of these electrons in a circuit constitute the photoelectric current. Work function. It is the minimum amount of energy required to liberate an electron from the metal surface, and this energy is given in the form of light radiation. The work function of a metal is expressed in electron volt. As you can see in the below picture, in this diagram, you can see a lamp, two parallel plates that are connected with a external electric circuit. In the first case, your source of light is lamp. Light radiations coming from the lamp fall on the metal plate. Light frequency is too low, means it does not having enough energy to eject an electron from the metal. That is, no electric current flows. Remember one thing in this whole topic, electrons are not coming out of the surface for every radiation. It comes out only one particular frequency of radiation. That frequency is called threshold frequency, and the wavelength of that radiation is called threshold wavelength. Below the threshold frequency, you cannot get photoelectric effect. In the second case, when light radiation of frequency just above the threshold frequency fall on the metal target, some electrons are ejected. You can count that electrons are 5, and you get a small current because the circuit is connected to a meter which measures the electric current. In the third case, when light radiation of frequency which is far above the threshold frequency fall on the metal target, there are many number of electrons are ejected and you get a large current. Experiment to study the photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect can be studied using the apparatus shown in the figure. The apparatus consists a vacuum chamber which encloses a metal surface plate called cathode and a detector called anode. A milliammeter included in the circuit to measure the photoelectric current. When light radiation of suitable frequency fall on the metal surface plate, the photoelectrons are emitted that move towards the detector. Because electrons are a negative charge particle and it is attracted towards the positive plate, that is detector. These electrons flow in the outer circuit, resulting we get the photoelectric current. Due to it, the milliammeter shows a deflection. The reading of milliammeter measures the photoelectric current. Experimental observations, that is laws of photoelectric emission. The photoelectric emission is instantaneous. The time lag between the incidence of the radiation and emission of the electron is of the order of 10 raised to minus 9 seconds. For every photoemissive surface, there is a certain frequency of the incident radiation below which there is no photoemission. This minimum frequency is called threshold frequency, and the corresponding wavelength is called threshold wavelength. If the frequency of incident radiation is less than the threshold value, electrons are not liberated. For this, you have to look at the graph second, third and fourth. In the third graph, along the x-axis, we have taken the frequency of incident radiation. For the frequency of light radiation, which is less than 4 into 10 raised to 14 Hz, you cannot get photoelectric effect. It means the energy of radiation is not able to eject an electron from the metal surface. But 4 into 10 raised to 14 Hz onwards, you get the photoelectric effect. So 4 into 10 raised to 14 Hz becomes threshold frequency. For a given frequency greater than the threshold, the strength of the photoelectric current is directly proportional to the intensity of the incident radiation. The maximum kinetic energy of the photoelectron increases linearly with the frequency of the incident radiation. Einstein photoelectric effect. In 1905, using the idea of photon, Einstein explained photoelectric effect successfully. Einstein was awarded the Nobel Prize for this achievement in 1921. Photons are a packet of energy which are emitted by a source of radiation. The frequency of a photon gives the energy of the photon or radiation. According to the Einstein, a photo emission is a simple collision between an incident photon and a free electron of the target material. When a photon of energy h nu, where h is the Planck's constant and nu is the frequency of the incident photon, collides with a free electron, it transfers, means photon transfers its energy to the electron. The electron absorbs all the light energy and make use of this energy to just come out of the surface and to move with a certain kinetic energy. From the law of conservation of energy, energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can be transformed from one form to the another. So, h nu is equals to work function plus half mv square, where h nu is the energy of the incident photon, work function is the minimum amount of energy required by the electron to just come out from the metal surface, and half mv square is the kinetic energy of the moving particle, that is electron. This is called Einstein photoelectric equation. In this diagram, you get the clear idea about this concept. Here, the metal surface is your potassium and its work function is 2 electron volt. Means a 2 electron volt energy should be present in the incident radiation to eject an electron. In the first case, your incident radiation is having a wavelength of 700 nanometer. But here, in place of frequency, they are given a wavelength. And energy of this incident radiation is given by 1.77 electron volt. You can also calculate this value with the help of formula. That is, E is equals to h nu. This is the formula which is used to find out the energy of the incident photon, where h is the Planck's constant and nu is the frequency of the incident photon. In the next step, E is equals to h multiply with c divided by lambda, because here frequency is not given, so in place of frequency we use c by lambda, because we know the basic formula of velocity, frequency and wavelength, that is velocity is equals to frequency into wavelength. From this formula we have to calculate frequency. So frequency becomes nu is equals to v divided by lambda, where v is the velocity. So in place of velocity we can write it as c, that is speed of photon or speed of the radiation. So your formula becomes nu is equals to c divided by lambda. Substitute this value of nu in the equation. E is equals to h multiply with c divided by lambda. In the next step, now we have to substitute all the values in the above equation. 6.634 into 10 raised to minus 34 is the value of the Planck's constant, and 3 into 10 raised to 8 is the value of the speed or velocity of the incident photon, and it is divided by the wavelength of the photon or wavelength of the incident radiation, that is 700 into 10 raised to minus 9. In the next step, E is equals to, when you multiply 6.634 into 3, you get 19.902 into 10 raised to minus 34 into 10 raised to 8 gives you 10 raised to minus 26. It is divided by 700 into 10 raised to minus 9. Take this 10 raised to minus 9 to the numerator. It becomes E is equals to 19.902 into 10 raised to minus 26. It is multiplied with the 10 raised to 9 whole divided by 700. When you simplify 10 raised to minus 26, 10 raised to 9, you get 10 raised to minus 17. In the next step, E is equals to 19.902 multiply with the 10 raised to minus 17 and it is divided by 700. When you divided this value, you get 0.0284 into 10 raised to minus 17 joule. Shift this decimal value from left to right, you get 2.84 into 10 raised to minus 2 for shifting decimal point from left to right into 10 raised to minus 17. When you simplify 10 raised to minus 2, 10 raised to minus 17, you get 10 raised to minus 19. So E is equals to 2.84 into 10 raised to minus 19 joule. But here we have to calculate the energy in terms of the electron volt. So that's why 1 electron volt is equals to 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 joule. So 1 joule is equals to 1 divided by 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 electron volt. Substitute this value in the above equation. So E is equals to 2.84 into 10 raised to minus 19 whole divided by 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 electron volt. 10 raised to minus 19, 10 raised to minus 19 get cancelled out, and the remaining answer is E is equals to 1.77 electron volt as it is given in the diagram. For the 700 nanometer, your energy of the incident photon is 1.77 electron volt, but here we calculate this value, and this value is less than the work function of the potassium, that is 2 electron volt. So no electrons will be come out. In the second diagram, the energy of the incident photon is 2.25 electron volt and the work function of the potassium is 2 electron volt. So as you can see here, the energy of the incident photon is greater than the work function of the potassium surface. So according to the formula, E is equals to W plus kinetic energy, where E is the energy of the incident radiation, that is photon, W is the work function of the potassium surface, plus kinetic energy. Energy of the incident photon is given to you, that is 2.25 electron volt. The work function of the potassium is 2 electron volt plus kinetic energy. Shift this 2 electron volt to the left hand side, it becomes 2.25 electron volt minus 2 electron volt is equals to kinetic energy. So kinetic energy is equals to 0.25 electron volt. So this extra energy of 0.25 electron volt is used by the electron to move with a certain velocity. Now we have to calculate the velocity of the electron which it travels. Kinetic energy formula is half mv square is equals to 0.25 electron volt is converted into the joules. So 1 electron volt is equals to 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 joule. 1 by 2 multiply with, where m is the mass of the electron, it is 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31. It is again multiply with the v square is equals to 0.4 into 10 raised to minus 19. When you multiply 0.25 with 1.6, you get 0.4. V square is equals to 0.4 into 10 raised to minus 19 multiply with 2 whole divided by 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31. When you multiply 0.4 with 2, you get 0.8 into 10 raised to minus 19 whole divided by 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31. When you simplify it, you get 0.0879 into 10 raised to 12. V square is equals to, where 10 raised to 12 can be written as 10 raised to 2 multiply with 10 raised to 10. So 0.0879 into 10 raised to 2 into 10 raised to 10. V square is equals to, when you multiply 0.087 with 10 raised to 2, you get 8.79 multiply with 10 raised to 10. It is the value of V square, but here we want only V. So square root of this value, you get 2.96 into 10 raised to 5 meter per second. It means the velocity of the electron is 2.96 into 10 raised to 5 meter per second, as it is shown in the diagram. In the diagram, the velocity is given to you, but here we calculate this velocity. It also comes 2.96 into 10 raised to 5 meter per second. It means when the energy of the incident radiation is more than the work function, then the extra energy used by the electron to move with a certain velocity, it uses that extra energy in the form of kinetic energy. Similarly, you can also calculate for the third radiation, explanation of photoelectric effect. Einstein photoelectric equation successfully explain all the experimental observation on photoemission. If work function is equals to h nu naught, where h is the Planck's constant and nu naught is the threshold frequency, then the photoelectric equation can be written as h nu in place of energy is equals to h nu naught in place of the work function plus kinetic energy, that is half mv square. Photoemission is the instantaneous process. Suppose h nu is less than the work function. No photoemission takes place if the energy of the incident photon is less than the work function. in terms of the frequency if nu is less than nu naught, that is, if the frequency of the incident photon is less than a certain frequency called the threshold frequency, then no photo emission takes place. If h nu is equals to the Verr function or incident frequency of the photon is equals to the threshold frequency, electron comes out of the surface but does not move. This energy or frequency of the incident light is just sufficient to eject the electron from the surface. If h nu is greater than the Verr function or incident frequency of the photon is greater than the threshold frequency, then the electron after ejection from the surface moves with a certain kinetic energy. If the intensity of the incident radiation is increased, the number of photons colliding with the electron increases, giving the emission of more number of electrons, and you get more photoelectric current. This is the famous Einstein photoelectric equation, that is E is equals to W plus kinetic energy, where E is the energy of the incident photon, W is the Verr function, and kinetic energy is the half mv square. Substitute the values of energy, Verr function, kinetic energy in this formula. You get h nu is equals to h nu naught plus half mv square. Take this h nu naught to the left hand side, it becomes h nu minus h nu naught is equals to half mv square. Take h common from the above equation. H in the bracket nu minus nu naught is equals to half mv square, where we already calculate the relation between velocity, frequency and wavelength. From that formula we calculate frequency is equals to c by lambda. Substitute this value in the above equation. H in the bracket, in place of nu we have to write it as c by lambda, minus in place of nu naught we have to write it as c divided by lambda naught is equals to half mv square. Take c common from the above equation, then your equation becomes hc in the bracket 1 by lambda minus 1 by lambda naught is equals to half mv square, where h is the Planck's constant. Its value is 6.625 into 10 raised to minus 34 joules second, where nu is the frequency of the incident radiation or photon. Nu naught is the threshold frequency. Lambda is the wavelength of the incident radiation or photon. Lambda naught is the threshold wavelength. C is the speed of the radiation or photon. E is the energy of the incident radiation or photon. W is the work function of the given metal surface. Kinetic energy is the energy of the ejected electron from the metal. Now we have to study the Compton effect. When high frequency radiation are scattered by an electron of light element, that is carbon, the frequency of the scattered radiation is smaller than the frequency of the incident radiation. This phenomena is called Compton effect. Arthur Compton in 1923 explained this effect by considering the scattering of X-rays. The change in wavelength of high energy radiation during scattering process is called Compton shift, and it is given by lambda dash minus lambda is equals to delta lambda is equals to h divided by m naught c multiply with the 1 minus cos theta. The wavelength of the scattered X-ray is longer than that of the incident X-rays. Further, the wavelength of the scattered X-ray is different for each direction of scattering. In this diagram, when incident photon of X-rays having wavelength collides with the electron at rest, electron travels in a direction making an angle of pi with the axis of incident photon, and it is shown in the diagram as recoil electron. And the scattered photon moves in another direction making an angle of theta with the incident photon axis, and the wavelength of the scattered photon is large as compared to the wavelength of the incident photon. The difference in wavelength of the scattered photon and incident photon gives you Compton shift, and it is shown in the diagram as lambda f minus lambda I is equals to delta lambda is equals to h divided by m naught c multiply with 1 minus cos theta, where lambda f is the wavelength of the scattered photon, lambda I is the wavelength of the incident photon, delta lambda is the change in wavelength of the photon or difference in wavelength of the photon, h is the Planck's constant, m naught is the rest mass of the electron, and c is the velocity of the electron. Theta is the scattering angle of the scattered photon. The wavelength of the scattered photon is different for each direction of scattering, and its value depends upon the theta. Compton effect is the effect in which change in frequency or change in wavelength occurs in a scattered radiation when incident radiation collides with the electron. This change in frequency or change in wavelength gives you a Compton shift. Change in frequency or wavelength is a function of the scattering angle. It means it depends on the scattering angle, that is theta. So this is all about the photoelectric effect and Compton effect. In the next video, we solve some problems on the basis of photoelectric effect and Compton effect.